Tonight's episode is brought to you by Dinesh D'Souza's new movie, The Dragon's Prophecy, based on the #1 international bestseller by Jonathan Cahn. The Dragon's Prophecy offers new understanding on Israel, radical Islam, anti-Semitism, and biblical prophecy. Could it be that the fate of the world, of all of humanity itself, is tied to what we're seeing now in the Middle East? In theaters 2 nights only, October 6th and 8th, and streaming and DVDs available October 9th. All tickets and pre-orders at thedragonsprophecyfilm.com. Hey, welcome back to another episode of Lara Trump Wanted for Questioning. Let's see. It's been a heck of a past couple weeks, so let's see what questions we have tonight. Question number 1. Were you in Arizona for Charlie last Sunday? Yeah. I was there. I was there with my husband, my brother-in-law, one of my nephews came, and obviously the president, vice president. I would say pretty much I saw so many members of the cabinet who were there. It was amazing to be there, and it was one of those moments that, I mean, I still think it feels surreal to all of us that we had to have a memorial for Charlie Kirk, that Charlie is no longer here, that this is all real life. I think like you're kind of stunned immediately in the kind of days after something like this happens. I just didn't feel real to me being there. I was just looking around. I was like, my God, I can't believe this is happening. But to see people in every seat in this arena, this is the Arizona Cardinals arena. This is a football stadium filled with people. They had to turn thousands of people away because they wanted to come. Man, what a moment. What a moment in time. What a moment to be alive right now and experience what those of us who were there, and I think anyone who watched it, I think 100 million people watched it as it was happening, what we got to experience and feel. You know, to have a stadium full of people who were there in prayer, who were there really to reflect on the impact of this one person's life. It was incredible. And I'll tell you what, there were some amazing speakers there. Obviously the president, the vice president. I thought my brother-in-law, Don, did a great job. There were so many really wonderful speakers, but when Erica Kirk took the stage, I mean, I couldn't look away. I couldn't even move from where I was. I wasn't even like in the seat that was assigned to me. I didn't even have a great vantage point. I could have had a much better view from a different spot. I couldn't move. I was entranced and fixated on every word she said, and it was so powerful. The moment she said that she forgave the man who took her husband's life, I mean, I don't know how much more powerful you can get. I don't know what more you could possibly do, how much more grace you could possibly show. And it's because she wants to reflect the values of Jesus Christ. It's because she knows that her husband, Charlie, would want her to do that. I mean, when she said that, everybody in our little box there just was like, I mean, I have chills talking about it right now. Incredible. Incredible. The example she set was transformational on so many different levels for I think so much of the country. Any kid that watched that, any young woman or young man who watched her speech, I don't know how you can watch that and not be changed and touched and really reflect on yourself and your future. It was really amazing. I was honored to be there. I was honored to be among the 90,000 people or however many people, I think something like that, showed up there. And, you know, one of the things that came out of it is we saw a bit of a reconciliation between President Trump and Elon Musk. And I know Charlie wanted that. And so if nothing else, there was an entire stadium full of people praying. There was an entire country watching, faith at the center of what happened there. And there were two great men who are much stronger together than they are apart, who came back together in that moment. Something I'll never forget. Really, what a powerful day. And again, truly an honor to be there. Okay, next question. At what part in the campaign did you know Donald Trump was going to become president? Well, listen, you don't get cocky in campaigns, right? We saw that happen with Hillary Clinton. Remember when she tweeted very famously, "Happy birthday to this future president"? What an idiot. What a dumb thing to put out there. You know why? Because I just don't think the universe likes that. Don't count your chickens before they hatch, Hillary or anybody else. So none of us ever got cocky. None of us ever said, we got it in the bag. We felt very confident in 2020. And then things happened. Ballots showed up in suitcases. Ballots were lost. Cats who had been dead for years were voting in the election. Crazy things happened in 2020, so you never know. I'll tell you the moment that I knew Kamala was doomed was her first financial speech she gave, first economic speech she gave. That was how it was touted. Oh, she's going to talk about the economy, her economic plan for the country. It was in Raleigh, North Carolina. I went to college there, and I said, let me tune into this and just see what Kamala's got to say about the economy. What kind of grand plan will this individual, who, as far as I understand, has never really held a job, a real job in her life, has certainly never signed the back of a check like Donald Trump has, only the front of a check, cash it. See what she's got to say about the economy. I was so curious to tune in. And this is when the Democrats were trying to suggest that grocery stores were price gouging people, that these grocery stores with the slimmest of margins, who barely scrape by and barely make a profit, were somehow price gouging the country. No, that was due to the inflation that Joe Biden allowed to happen. That was the inflation that started when he cut off the Keystone XL pipeline, where gasoline went through the roof. Guess what? That means that transporting everything, including groceries, is more expensive. Guess who ultimately pays for that? The consumer. There's a whole host of reasons all of this happened, and it could be squarely pointed back to Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, president and vice president at the time. So Kamala gets up there to do her economic speech, and you could tell she's just reading off a teleprompter. She really hadn't had any influence on anything that was written there. It's not like she sat down with her team and said, here's our economic policy. Here's what I'm going to do as president. She never did that. Of course not. Some random person, some staffer, wrote up a speech for her, and in the speech, she got to where she was supposed to say price gouging, and instead she said price gauging. And I stopped and I said, wait a minute. Price gauging, what is that? And then she continued on. It became very clear she's talking about price gouging. So she's reading off a teleprompter and misspoke and mispronounced price gouging and said price gauging. I said, this person has no idea what the hell she's talking about. She doesn't know what price gouging even means. She has no clue. And so that was the moment I said, all right, if anyone actually asks her a substantive question, if she has to explain her platform on anything or policies on anything, it's just empty. She's an empty vessel. There's nothing in there. She has no idea what she's talking about. That's the moment I said, maybe the shine is going to wear off of Kamala Harris faster than we think. I'll never forget that moment. As I said, that's it. Obviously, we took no chances. Obviously, we kept our foot all the way down on the pedal, all the way until election day, and that the election was over and every vote was counted. Because as we learned, you never say never. Things can happen. But that's the moment for me. I said, this lady has no chance. And God help us all if she ever is in any sort of a position of power ever again. Well, Dinesh D'Souza has done it again. His new eye-opening movie, The Dragon's Prophecy, illuminates a 3,000-year-old mystery about Israel, the dark resurrection, and the end of days. The nation of Israel is a resurrected nation, but what if there was going to be a resurrection of another people, an enemy of Israel? After the horrific attack on October 7th, The Dragon's Prophecy offers new understanding on Israel, radical Islam, anti-Semitism, and biblical prophecy. Could it be that the fate of the world, of all of humanity itself, is tied to what we're seeing happen in the Middle East? Based on the #1 international bestseller by Jonathan Cahn, The Dragon's Prophecy reveals how another realm could be transforming our world as we speak. Don't miss Dinesh D'Souza's new movie, The Dragon's Prophecy, in theaters 2 nights only, October 6th and 8th. Streaming and DVDs available October 9th. All tickets and pre-orders at thedragonsprophecyfilm.com. That's thedragonsprophecyfilm.com. Nearly 2 years ago, terrorists murdered over 1,200 innocent Israelis and took 250 hostages. Today, the cries of the dead and dying seem drowned out by shouts of anti-Semitic hatred. The most brutal attack on Jewish people since the Holocaust is already fading from memory. Yet as the world looks away, a light breaks through the darkness. Christians are speaking out in love and support for Israel. United in faith, they will boldly stand with Israel this October, joining a growing movement, the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews, Flags of Fellowship. Flags of Fellowship unites churches all over America, planting over 1 million Israeli flags across our land. Together we will combat hate and the scourge of anti-Semitism, one flag at a time. And through our prayers, we can save lives, bring hope, and be part of seeing a brighter future unfold. This October, please join this historic movement by donating your flag today. Raise your voice, declare your stand, and show the world that Israel is not alone. Visit ifcj.org. That's ifcj.org. Okay, next question. Who are some guests you really want to interview on your podcast but haven't yet? You know who I'd like to get on sometime soon? I'd like to get Eric Trump on. Eric Trump has a new book. It's called Under Siege. This is a book that, you can go out and you can get a ghostwriter to write a book. A lot of people do that. You say, here's what I want to talk about. I'll give you a couple tidbits. You put it all together. I'll sell it. I won't put a lot of work into it. Eric put so much work into this book. He kept notes over the past 9.5 years, literally from the day his dad came down the escalator in Trump Tower to announce running for president up until today. He has kept notes on everything. I wish I would have done that. He told me one time. I started doing it and then, I don't know, life happened. He kept notes on everything. And man, let me tell you something. We have been through so much that people haven't heard about. You've heard about a lot of it. You know about the lawfare. You know about the raid on Mar-a-Lago. You know about Russia collusion hoax. You know about a lot of it, but you don't know everything. And Eric, as the person who has run the Trump organization since the day his dad ran for president, has had to deal with so much. And he put his heart and soul into this book. I've never seen him work harder for something. And I'm so excited for people to read it. I'm so excited for you to finally hear what actually happened. Our version of things, the truth, really, because you've heard a version of things out there. And so I'd like to have Eric Trump come on and talk about his book and really explain to people why he wanted to write it, what went into it, and what you can expect, because I think it's really amazing. I'm open to anyone, talking to anyone. I'm taking a page from Charlie Kirk. I mean, I have before. I don't turn anybody away from talking with me, whether on this show, whether on my show on Fox. I sat down with Charlemagne on my Fox show. I went on his show, The Breakfast Club. You know why? Because I want to have that back and forth. I don't want to exist in an echo chamber. I'm willing to talk to any and everyone out there. I mean, dream guests. I mean, at this point, I think we all want to hear from Erica Kirk at some point. Man, what an incredible woman. What a strong woman. What a great example out there. I would love to sit down with her in a couple months and see how Turning Point is going, seeing how it is for her as a widow, raising 2 young kids and taking the reins at such an important organization like Turning Point at such a pivotal time in our history. Certainly, that would be absolutely incredible. Offer is always extended to her. And I mean, truly a dream guest. I think it would be so cool to sit down with Kate Middleton. Now hear me out on this. I feel like a bit of a kindred spirit with her. Now, I was not raised in a royal house or whatever. I know you have to have like some connection to the royal family somehow, I think, to marry into them. But she did kind of come from a more common background. So did I. I grew up in a very normal family in North Carolina and did not ever expect to have a famous last name, let alone deal with, all of this, a presidential campaign, not just once, but 3 times. 2 times having my father-in-law as president of the United States, all that's come with it. I mean, it's been a lot, but I could kind of see the same thing about Kate Middleton, you know, and I've always kind of thought of her, and I've always thought, you know what, if we sat down, I bet we would have a lot in common, just in terms of figuring out life in kind of a different space than we grew up. So extending the offer to Kate Middleton as well. She's very welcome. And I also like both of those women, Erica Kirk, Kate Middleton. I like strong women. I think we need more of that out there. And I think they'd both be sort of epic to talk to. So offers on the table, ladies. Let me know. And you know what? I'm going to throw a last one out there for you. One more. Adam Schiff, you are welcome to come on this show and bring us that evidence. Bring us that Russia collusion evidence. You must have it somewhere, Adam. Where is that? You had it so long ago. I wonder where that smoking gun went. I would love to sit down with this guy and ask him about it. I would love to hear him out on why he told everyone in America that he knew without a shadow of a doubt that Donald Trump and our campaign colluded with Russia in 2016. He's welcome to come on this show as well. I'm going to bet he doesn't. Okay, final question. I saw you posted a bunch of pictures from the Dolphins game, but unlike your kids, you weren't wearing any Dolphins gear. Who's your NFL team? Well, first of all, that is not accurate. I had on an orange jacket and an orange top. That's part of the Dolphins' colors. Okay, they're teal and orange. Am I wrong? Did I miss something? Yeah. Now, was I wearing any official gear? I did have a hat on in one of the photos. I think that I posted one of those photos. I'll be really honest. My life is nuts. And Eric and I planned to go to this Dolphins game, I don't know, like a month ago, and then it just snuck up on me. And I you know how it is. Moms out there, you get it. Maybe some dads out there, you get it too. You got to do everything for everyone in your house. So I made sure my daughter had her little cheerleading outfit, her Miami Dolphins cheerleading outfit. We got it last year. Still fit, thank God. My son has multiple Dolphins jerseys, so I wasn't worried about that. I mean, Eric Trump, we know, is not dressing up too much, but he had a hat. We made sure of that. And then, like, we come last. Yeah, that's why I'm always the last person in my house to get in bed, because I'm dealing with everybody, including the dogs, the whole thing. So it came to game day, and honestly, I was like, oh my God, what am I wearing for this Dolphins game? And I found the orange shirt. So I'm a little hurt that you didn't notice that. And I had this sparkly jacket, but it got very warm. It's September in Florida. You know, it's pretty hot out here. But I had it on. So yeah, future reference. Just check out the colors at least. Now, I will say in my household, we also root for 2 other teams. Well, my son is a huge Patrick Mahomes fan. So he's always pro Chiefs. But he's also a big Buffalo Bills fan. So we've got a lot of jerseys floating around our house. I'll tell you that right now. And I think, look, I did an interview with Brian Urlacher, famous Chicago Bear. He likes the Bills for the Super Bowl this year. So we're geared up at my house. I do have a Bills like official shirt and hat that was sent to me by someone very close to the team. So I'm ready to go on that. I'm ready for the Super Bowl, Bills. I'm just throwing it out there for everybody. But yeah, I did have Dolphins colors on. God, I'm so ashamed that you thought I wasn't wearing anything and supporting the team, of course. All right, that's going to do it for us for this episode of Lara Trump Wanted for Questioning. Thank you for your questions. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, and follow. Send us more under this episode on any of our social media out there. I will do my best to answer them always for you. And until next time, we will see you back here for more of Lara Trump Wanted for Questioning.